Think older women aren't expressive? Think again. These quiet gestures speak louder than words, and most people completely miss them. Stay tuned to uncover 6 body language secrets older women use to show affection. Subscribe for timeless relationship wisdom. Secret 1. The gentle touch. Older women, especially those from generations where emotional restraint was the norm, often express affection through a soft and intentional touch. These touches are rarely flashy or dramatic. Instead, they are filled with warmth, thoughtfulness, and subtlety. Quiet acts of connection that speak louder than grand gestures. A gentle touch on the arm during conversation, resting a hand lightly on the back, or brushing a partner's sleeve as she passes by. These small actions often carry deep emotional meaning. For many women raised in the mid-20th century, direct verbal expressions of love were not as common as they are today. Physical affection, when expressed, was often understated, and these soft gestures became the language of love. Touch, in this context, becomes a form of emotional caretaking. A brief hand on the shoulder during a stressful moment, or a hand squeeze while watching a show together, these moments are all ways of saying, "I see you. I'm here." What makes the gentle touch powerful is its ability to convey comfort, connection, and even admiration without disrupting the environment or demanding attention. It's not a performative act, but a sincere signal of closeness. It also reflects an intuitive understanding of boundaries and respect. Older women know how to express without overwhelming, how to be present without being intrusive. In relationships, especially long-term ones, this type of body language builds quiet intimacy. It's the kind of touch that says, "I know you and you're not alone." In moments of difficulty, it offers reassurance. In moments of joy, it shares the warmth of the moment. The beauty of the gentle touch lies in its timelessness. It transcends trends or pop culture. It's a universal language of care that older women have passed down through generations. One graceful gesture at a time. Secret 2. Eyes hold truth. There's something profound about the way older women use their eyes to communicate affection. In a world that often prioritizes words and noise, sustained eye contact can feel like a lost art. But to those who've spent a lifetime cultivating quiet connections, eye contact remains a deeply meaningful gesture. When an older woman looks at someone she loves, there's often a richness behind the gaze. A mix of attentiveness, memory, understanding, and compassion. It's not about staring, but about being present. Her eyes might linger during a story, soften when she sees her loved one walk into a room, or narrow slightly in concern when something feels off. These are not random reactions. They are subtle, trained signals of emotional investment. Sustained eye contact conveys trust. It tells the other person that they are worth paying attention to. It also signals emotional safety. Older women have learned, sometimes through hardship, that relationships are strengthened when people feel seen. Eye contact becomes a bridge between two inner worlds, a quiet way of saying, "I'm here with you." There's also something affirming in the way older women maintain eye contact while listening. In a distracted world, truly listening, without glancing at a phone or letting your eyes wander, is an act of love. It communicates that the other person matters, that their words carry weight. In romantic relationships, this eye contact can take on an even deeper meaning. There are unspoken moments of shared humor, understanding, or admiration, all conveyed in a split-second glance. These glances often contain years of shared memories, trust, and history. In family settings, a mother or grandmother's eyes often express pride, concern, or unconditional love, even when no words are exchanged. The eyes become a mirror of emotions and a sanctuary of acceptance. So often, people underestimate the power of simply looking at someone with care. But older women, especially those who've lived through years of real human connection, know better. They know the eyes carry what the heart often struggles to say. Secret 3. Fixing his collar. Affection, for older women, often shows itself in small, caring acts, and one of the most timeless of these is adjusting their partner's appearance. Whether it's straightening a tie, brushing lint from a jacket, or fixing a hat, these moments say more than "you look good." They say, "I care enough to notice." For women raised in more formal eras, appearance was not just about vanity. It was a reflection of dignity, respect, and mutual pride. Helping a partner look presentable wasn't about control or nitpicking. It was an expression of love, attention, and shared identity. It meant, "We're in this together, and how you are seen matters to me." When an older woman reaches to fix her partner's collar, it's a nonverbal way of showing she still sees him, she still cares, and she still takes pride in him. Even in long marriages, these gestures quietly reaffirm connection. It says, "You're mine, and I want you to look your best," not for me, but because I value you. This body language becomes particularly powerful with age. As the years go by and couples face life's challenges together, illness, retirement, family changes, these small acts retain their power. They're moments of closeness that don't require words. And because they're often repeated over the years, they take on even more meaning with time. There's also a maternal softness in the gesture. Older women, especially those who've raised families, tend to show love through nurturing behaviors. Adjusting clothing may echo the days of caring for children or helping a spouse get ready for work, but it's not about control, it's about support. It's affection disguised as readiness. In modern times, we often focus on grand romantic gestures, but older generations remind us that love lives in the details. A hand brushing away lint is more than just practical, it's personal. It's a physical sign of commitment and attentiveness. So the next time you see an older woman fix her partner's collar or straighten his scarf, know this: it's not just about neatness. It's about presence, pride, and the kind of enduring affection that speaks through quiet action, not loud declarations. Secret 4, leaning in gently. The simple act of leaning in, especially during conversation, is one of the clearest signs of emotional intimacy. And older women often use this naturally to express their affection. It's not dramatic or overt. It's soft, almost instinctual, and it sends a powerful message: I want to be close to you. In older generations, where modesty and restraint were cultural values, emotional closeness was rarely displayed in bold ways. Instead, it was woven into subtle moments. Sitting a little closer on the sofa, leaning forward when he speaks, or moving in just slightly during a shared laugh. These gestures may seem small, but they carry emotional weight. Leaning in signals that someone is fully present. It communicates interest, trust, and connection. Older women often do this not because they've studied body language, but because a lifetime of human understanding has taught them what feels right. They lean in because they care, because they're engaged, and because love invites closeness. There's also a physical safety in this action. By leaning in, the woman closes the gap both physically and emotionally. It's a gesture of openness, removing barriers, breaking down distance. In long-term relationships especially, this body language becomes a ritual of connection. It tells the other person, you still draw me in. In moments of vulnerability, like during illness or conflict, leaning in becomes even more meaningful. It's a nonverbal form of support and solidarity. When words fail, presence, real, attentive presence, does the talking. A quiet lean says, you're not alone. This behavior also reflects a deep understanding of balance in relationships. Older women have learned that affection doesn't have to be loud or constant. Sometimes it's about showing up in a way that says, I'm here and I care. The lean-in is both subtle and powerful, a perfect blend of traditional femininity and emotional strength. So when an older woman leans in to listen or smiles just a little closer than expected, don't overlook it. She's not just being polite, she's offering something far more valuable, a moment of real, loving presence. Secret 5, mirroring his movements. One of the most fascinating, often unconscious forms of body language is mirroring, subtly matching another person's gestures, posture, or tone. Older women, especially those with strong emotional intelligence, often mirror the movements of those they care about. It's not manipulation, it's connection. It's a quiet way of saying, I'm in rhythm with you. Mirroring is deeply rooted in empathy. It usually happens without conscious effort. If he crosses his legs, she might do the same moments later. If he smiles while telling a story, she may smile in return, matching not only his words but the feeling behind them. Over time, this natural harmony becomes a dance, each person intuitively responding to the other. For older women who've spent decades in relationships, this behavior is second nature. They've learned to listen not only with their ears, but with their bodies. Mirroring becomes a way to affirm the bond, to signal unity, and to maintain closeness without saying a word. It's especially common in long-standing relationships where a couple has developed shared routines and energies. These women often don't need to think about how to respond. They feel it. They reflect back what their partner gives, creating a feedback loop of connection. What makes mirroring so special is its subtlety. It's not about copying someone. It's about resonance. It says, I'm tuned in to you. For older women, who may have grown up in times when affection was private and understated, this body language is a powerful yet modest expression of love. It's also soothing. Being mirrored makes people feel safe and understood. In uncertain moments, small gestures of synchronicity can calm tensions and reaffirm bonds. And because older women are often adept at reading emotions, they instinctively use mirroring to comfort, encourage, or connect. You may never notice this happening in the moment, but if you take a step back, you might see two people, perhaps in their 60s or 70s, sitting in the same posture, sipping tea in unison, or sharing a laugh with mirrored expressions. That is body language at its most graceful. Quiet, humble, and deeply affectionate, secret six, the loving glance. Among all the expressions of body language, perhaps none is more powerful or more deeply human than the loving glance. For older women, especially those who've loved and lived through decades of highs and lows, the glance is no mere look. It's a vessel of memory, care, and silent devotion. It's not about staring or being dramatic. It's about the way her eyes rest on her partner when he isn't looking. Maybe he's talking to a grandchild, fixing something in the garage, or quietly reading in a chair. Her eyes soften. A faint smile appears. In that brief, unspoken moment, everything she feels is right there on her face. This glance isn't about seeking attention, it's about giving it. It's the kind of look that says, I remember our youth, I've seen your strength, I know your faults, and I love you anyway. It's a full expression of acceptance, earned, tested, and tender. What makes this glance so meaningful is how rare it is in younger relationships. In the early stages of love, there's often more intensity, more staring, more performance. But with time, the energy settles into something deeper. Older women don't glance to impress. They glance to honor, to recognize the person they've built a life with. These glances also appear at unexpected times, during a family dinner, while sitting quietly at church or watching an old film they both love. And even in moments of grief or worry, the glance may still appear, infused with strength and loyalty. We're going through this together. If you pay attention, you might see this glance from an older woman toward her spouse, child, or even a lifelong friend. And it will be clear, this is no ordinary look. It's filled with layers of emotion, some too deep for words. You won't always be able to capture it on camera. It's too fast, too personal, too sacred. But it's there, and it lingers, quietly proving that love doesn't always shout. Sometimes it just looks and sees everything. Conclusion: these gestures may be small, but they carry a lifetime of love. Older women show affection not with noise, but with grace, with presence, care, and quiet strength. In a world that moves fast, their body language reminds us of what endures. Which gesture spoke to you most? Share your story in the comments, like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more timeless wisdom. See you in the next video.